Welcome back, guys. This is the Pop Culture Outlet.
That is right.
Where we're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about the 70s, okay? We're talking about the 70s and how it started. We're going right into the root, and we're talking mostly about disco. We're talking about gospel. And what was the last one, Andrew?
Reggae, my friend.
That's right,
Reggae.
that's right.
Yes, sir.
And later down the line in the episode, we'll get to more pop-centered 70s music, more
That's right.
more mainstream 70s music, maybe dabble into Elvis, some Elton John, but let's get some of the key factors.
The foundations.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe some
Foundations.
Bob Marley.
So we got Bob Marley for the reggae genre.
Yes.
Mhm.
All-time legend. He always brought the energy. All the concerts he had were so inclusive, and he really put Jamaica music on the map.
He really did make Jamaica's music on the map, but also he created a movement of love and peace.
Yes,
you know,
very
that
much.
was a big thing about 70s music there was a lot of war going on with Vietnam at the time, and because of that, everybody was protesting and making music about peace and world peace and stuff.
Yeah,
and
totally.
reggae, of course, is, I would say, a keystone of that.
Yeah.
And Bob Marley, like I said, he started a movement especially when he got shot, and he was going for a peaceful protest. He gets shot, and 2 days later he comes back and he makes the concert happen.
Just
Yeah.
legend stuff.
It was
right
it
there.
was legendary.
Yes.
It was
and
really cool.
he was such a pillar to the community in Jamaica, and like you said, peace reforms. He was all about peace and no war.
Yeah.
And we can all salute a guy like that, who brings positive change to the world instead of conflict and
Negativity.
irritation. Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
So yeah,
What else about the 70s do you feel that was really important to the foundation?
I really think disco was really a huge part.
Okay. Yeah, what would you say was the inspiration to disco, like in the early 70s, in your opinion?
I would say a lot of the funky 60s music, late 60s really created a pathway to have disco sounds.
Yeah.
And around clubs around the world, it was just a craze in the 70s. And
Like
the
avant-garde
Bee Gees.
jazz for sure.
Yeah.
Inspired a lot of disco. Because
Avant-garde jazz.
avant-garde, it went into funk later down the line, and then we had disco, which Bee Gees, I guess Earth, Wind and Fire
Earth, Wind
would
and
throw
Fire,
in there. Chic, yep. You
Yeah.
got all these and you know what I find really funny about a lot of the disco bands and I guess disco songs is they all had the same dance moves. Like, how did they all have the
Early 70s
the
was...
points up and down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why is that?
I think it was the fashion, actually.
Yeah.
That's what made it so special
So
for
maybe
disco.
maybe that's why the dance moves were a little limited, because they were all wearing high heels. Like, even the guys were wearing
Yeah,
high heels, not
that's
just
so
the
true.
ladies, and they all had poofy, big hair,
Yeah,
guys and ladies. And then think about the hairspray.
There was a lot to
And-
move around.
Oh, the hairspray was crazy.
I mean, that
think
was
even
bigger
more
in the 80s,
in the
but
80s.
yeah,
That was a staple. But
that was the staple.
The 70s
Yeah.
was where it was, starting to come into action though.
And like you said, Jacob, the high heels in the 70s, somebody would hop on the dance floor with whatever they had on. And that's just the vibes that we're on. It doesn't matter where we are, what we're doing. We're going to get down. We're going to boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's boogie.
Let's boogie
No,
tonight.
that's crazy.
I think a lot of the the OG 70s music, it started out with gospel. I was kind of talking about that earlier.
Yeah, gospel.
Gospel, yes.
Elvis kind of started out as a gospel artist, singing his songs in churches. He stole a lot of music, though. A lot of people found that out later in his career, and
It's like when you find out a comedian stole jokes. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
It's ooh, that's kind of a sour
sours
taste.
your
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, we're still gonna have a blue Christmas no matter what. But
Yeah, that Christmas album, man.
yeah,
Oh, the
I gotta
Christmas
say
album
really
is
quick.
generational.
Yeah, out of all of Elvis's work, his Christmas album was one of my favorites. It's generational.
It's so
Yeah,
generational.
it is. We'll get back to Elvis in a little bit, but I do want to say, Walter Hawkins, he had so many songs in the 70s that were top of the chart songs. He had "Come By Here, Good Lord." He had "Going Up Yonder," "Be Grateful." He had I'm trying to find it. Oh Happy Day. No, that's not him. But he had a lot of songs that ended up like really
A lot of bangers.
blowing up. Yeah, a lot of bangers.
Yeah.
And you know what's another interesting fact that still kind of rivets my brain that I thought about the other night is like, okay, before the 2000s and everything, music blew up because it was good. Not because of the internet, not because of trends. It blew up because somebody really worked hard to make an album and worked in a studio, put it on a vinyl, just so somebody would hear it and hopefully it would blow up, right?
Yeah.
And when it did, think about like Michael Jackson's fame, like how he had billions and billions of fans, right?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have the internet.
No, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
and same with Elvis, like, it's crazy how those big artists got out in such a way where it's like you don't need no social media or any exposure really to like get big in those times because your music was just that special, you know.
Because you did good.
Because you did good stuff.
Yeah, people nowadays like they get one song out and it blows up and then they're immediately like the hot trend for maybe a week or two and then you don't really hear about them for a while. Back then it's like you really had to put in the grind. You had to have a lot of songs out there, maybe a couple of 3-4 albums in order to actually have, you know, footing, you know, some groundwork in this kind of like,
I would even say like your first 2-3 albums was what created you as an artist back then because you know, if you had 2 good albums, people were like, "Oh, okay, this is something worth listening."
3 good albums? Oh man, we should look at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after that, if you look at the Eminem effect, right? When he created albums,
the Eminem effect.
Well, instead of saying like the Stan effect because it's different, I'm talking about his like how everybody like criticized Eminem differently. In the beginning, his first 2 albums, everybody was like, "It's gold, it's amazing, it's perfect, it's diamonds."
Yes.
And then you know, a couple albums later, with Recovery and stuff, or even Relapse, they are like talking bad on him and saying it's not good because it's not as good as his first 3 albums, right? So what I was trying to come back to what I was trying to say, you know, the first 3 albums of an artist really defines you're waking up of becoming an artist. And in the early 70s, if you didn't have good 2 or 3 albums, nobody listened to you. It lays the
foundation. Like when you have 2 or 3 good albums, then it's like, oh, the next stuff that's coming is going to be even more special.
And it makes total sense on why like early 70 artists, right, have so many albums put out is because once they found out, hey, somebody listens to this guy, we got to milk him for all his music, you know, in an interesting way. So bring it back to Elvis, I would say he's a prime example where this dude, he has like 17, 18 different albums, I think.
In like 5 different genres too.
And no love or no hate to him. I'm just going to say he was a good artist, but
he had music.
He had a lot of music.
Really,
he had a lot of
talented.
music,
He was talented, and for that time, it was like hard to really show your talents to the whole world. Like, he really made it happen.
And even harder to get it recorded and have a studio actually do it for you.
Have the equipment and do everything,
Yeah, and, you know, I did want to talk about this in a little bit. We'll kick into a break here shortly, but I did want to touch on 70s artists' influence coming to Vegas, how a lot of artists would travel through the town, and a lot of, you know, people were taking note of that, and it ended up becoming a booming town. You know, we got Fremont now, which is Old Town. That was the spot back then. You know, you have Golden Nugget. That's one of the most famous hotels that has, you know, some of the most famous celebrities back then. Like, I got to pull up a list later, but yeah, and shortly here in a bit, we'll touch more on the Vegas settlement. Yeah,
because like Ethan said, the 70s Vegas would create an artist if you were in Vegas, you know?
Exactly.
I bet the atmosphere in the 70s in Vegas was electric.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So many things were just allowed to happen.
Things are going on behind the scenes, and, you know, have a drink or two, stuff like that.
That's what it started as.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But once a lot of artists, started talking about it and started like telling people about their experience. What happens is Vegas stays in Vegas, but not in the 70s at the time.
Oh,
the 70s, everybody knew about Vegas. Everybody knew what was happening in Vegas.
Yeah, everybody was on the Vegas vibes back in the
exactly.
70s. So,
what was going on, the creation of Vegas, like you said, it started as a truck stop, a small little banky town. But what actually kind of created it was mob bosses and criminals. In the early 70s, they realized the desert was a perfect place to go do all their shenanigans. So they moved over there, started doing their shenanigans, making lots of money, and inviting artists to come over and play because they're like, hey, we got a couple venues to come. And as truckers came by and bigger and bigger names started happening, it became not just a little truck top town. It became a city, and then it became a party city.
Oh, party city.
And a lot of artists such as like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra.
He's obviously like the king of Vegas.
Face of Vegas.
Yeah, he is the king of Vegas for sure.
Liberace, got Wayne Newton, Dean Martin, Diana Ross, Elton John. There's so many people in the 70s that were like top of the charts, making songs through the decades, almost daily. Putting out banger after banger after banger. People who have been known to this day. People who have been known for 50 years at this point, 60 years. Yeah, these people were all coming together, all creating this art together, and Vegas was kind of like the trading spot. Like, oh, this artist coming here on this day, all right. And a lot of collaborations really started in Vegas. A lot of artists, were coming realizing, oh, this guy's coming here. I'm gonna come at the same time. We're gonna have shows at separate times. Maybe we can come and collab. And then artists started writing up collaborations in Vegas.
Yeah, it was a hot spot for music at that time, and also Elvis, like in Vegas, was such a huge figure because he was playing shows so often there. And it was
literally nightly. Same with
Frank Sinatra. It wasn't even his like decision to really perform in Vegas all those times.
Really?
It was actually his manager who made him do that. He signed a contract and he couldn't leave Vegas.
He signed the contract. Yeah, exactly right. Same with Frank Sinatra for a little while. They both signed a contract where they would work at that one venue, and that's why it became the Rat Pack venue.
And Frank had some ties, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas and
that
all
man
over. So
was definitely. Let's not say he was a criminal or anything, because we don't know nothing like that. But come on, I mean,
he made
early
music.
He
made
the early. That's right.
70s.
He was an artist, guys. No.
And even before then, like the 50s, 60s, he was still popping. So it's like he was in the game so long until that point that he was
already famous by the time he got to Vegas.
Yeah,
when he rolled around. And like another thing you want to talk about in the 70s is it was a gambling central at the time.
Very much.
So it was just we talked how it was earlier a truck stop and stuff, but like 70s it already had casinos. It already had stuff to come in, stop by. Like it wasn't just a truck stop. It was come in, truck stop, and gamble.
It was like an entertainment capital.
People wanted to get they wanted to release their stress, let off some steam. They wanted to get maybe lose some money.
Yes.
Hopefully win money. That's what everybody thinks.
Lose money and get
Vegas,
loose
you're
at the club.
spending all of that money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you win some, you're spending all that money.
That's crazy.
It's going to go away somehow in Vegas. It's like when you're there, might as well live it up. And in the 70s, that's what they did. And even until this day, like you said, there's the gambling capital, but still to this day, it's like one of those places you go and it's like, yep.
It's still
it's getting active all the time here in the city.
Yeah.
I would say it's still probably like United States' biggest like party city out of everywhere, all the 51 states and stuff like that.
Big time.
And so I would have to say like I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought in mid sentence, but it's all right. I would have to say like the 70s with Vegas. It's still just as big as a music central as it was in the early 70s. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Like maybe even bigger with the Sphere now going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
Sphere,
Eagles have been playing their
Pink Floyd tribute. They had Kenny Chesney recently.
I love Kenny Chesney.
Country favorite.
Great country.
Yeah, they've been playing like 1970s tribute shows, Bell Bottoms, they're like recreating the era, all that stuff. The Eagles have performed, have like, reunion tours. They have a lot of, space for a lot of old artists to come in, but also they're really good at pushing out all the old stuff too, making sure that you know, like, oh, this is our history, this is our past, this is Vegas through the decades.
And speaking of the Eagles, what's your favorite song from the Eagles, boys?
Oh, that's hard. Let me pull up their
Discography.
Hotel
yes, really quick.
California.
That's
Of
crazy
course.
out of nowhere. Eagles.
Yeah, I'd have to say maybe if I'm getting this right, Hotel California.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
think-
the
That's
the
a state-
classic.
that's
But
a
yes.
it's the
staple.
solo that gets
Um,
me. It's the
oh.
solo.
It's
One of
such a
These
beautiful
Nights
song.
is my favorite.
One of These Nights, I love that.
One of These Nights.
Oh, yeah. For
Yeah.
me, I would say Take It Easy. It's,
Oh, Take It
yeah,
Easy is a
you
good
know,
one, too.
It gets to the point, and
Take it
it's such a beautiful song, vibey
It is.
song.
Honestly, Eagles have. Actually, you know what? Speaking of Eagles, going over to another bird, the Seahawks.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, my God. What a
So-
crazy
Seahawks,
Going
transition.
to the
That was-
Super
Let's
Bowl.
go.
That's right, boys.
Yeah, we go to the Super Bowl, baby.
What's your guys'
Let's go.
prediction? Obviously, it better be Seahawks.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
of
I
course.
think the Seahawks are going to win. It's going to be 32 to a Patriots 26.
Ooh, you know, they're definitely going to fight. I think it's going to be a 47 to a 31.
Ooh, high
Seahawks
scoring
winning.
game.
That's
okay.
high,
That's
yeah.
a high scoring game.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I'm gonna have to say close to Ethan's 32 to 21.
20.
Mm.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
they
can see
score
that.
3 touchdowns, and we score. Let's see,
I
4
bet.
touchdowns,
You
a
ready?
field goal, and something else.
Yeah.
3 interceptions by the Seahawks.
I could see maybe 2. I don't know.
Our defense is insane.
That's so
like,
true.
We're
Yeah.
all-time
Okay,
defense.
three interceptions. All right, let's bet on it.
No,
Let's go
this
to
is not
Vegas.
Vegas.
You want to go to the casino?
No, that's
Hey,
crazy. Bart.
Favorite
Just like-
70s band and artists. I got mine actually, and I am.
Ooh, okay.
So favorite band, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think their whole sound altogether. I can't pick a favorite song. They've got a lot of really well-known songs. A lot of their songs are my favorites. But
Definitely.
if I had to pick a favorite song, it would have to be "Chameleon" by Herbie Hancock.
Ooh,
That's-
Andrew, you got yours. I'll go last.
I think I do, my friend.
Okay, go
so
ahead.
for me, it's the Police, and Every Breath You Take. So we got Every Breath You Take, Roxanne, Message in a Bottle, everything, little thing she does. Don't stand so close
You
to
got
me.
a whole list.
It's so generational, and I think they're the best in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite band of the 70s, it was Pink Floyd. If I had to pick my favorite song of the 70s era, Horse No Name, America. I don't know why, but personally, I just listen to that song all the time, and I love it. So, yeah, I love that song.
Oh yeah, and I think for some of those Police songs, I think they were actually 1980 songs, but one of those, I think.
Dang. It's like that one time I did that with the country song,
Yeah,
Neon Moon. We were doing a 80s, and it was a 90s song, but it's all right.
I'd have to go with the Eagles, though. Final decision, the Eagles.
Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Lioness.
That's a solid band.
That is solid.
You know
Thank you.
the bass line to Chameleon. It's kind of funky. It goes. Burr, 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 burr. It's really funny. Go look it up. It's a bass line by Paul Jackson. It's a great bass line, probably my favorite out there. 70s and 80s were both just like phenomenal with the bass.
That's
like,
very true.
very
They had a very bass groove
Yeah.
funk because funk was very bassy.
Yes.
So
yeah. A lot of jazz
very
too was
groovy.
very bassy as well.
That's true. If we're gonna like tie off our episode tonight, I'm gonna just do a quick synopsis talking about Stevie Wonder. You
Okay.
know, he's
Oh, yeah.
one of my favorite '70s artists.
Was
too.
he blind?
Shaq
No.
said that he wasn't in the
Oh.
story, like on the
Oh.
talk show.
That's-
yeah.
That's yeah.
No,
that's-
he wasn't blind.
Yeah,
No.
no, referencing. I'm referencing the Shaq thing.
That's crazy.
That's
Okay.
exactly it.
So Stevie Wonder, you know, he's a big artist, obviously, but he blew up on Superstition.
Bum, bum,
You guys.
bum, 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 bum.
Okay, Superstition. You guys are getting me derailed. Sorry.
Love that song.
Yeah,
That's so good.
Superstition. It was one of the biggest ones he actually came. He had tens of millions of listeners globally on FM and AM. Imagine.
On both
Yeah.
sides, man.
That's
Both sides.
it's pretty
Wow.
crazy, you know.
So talented.
Yeah.
He was a very talented guy. He did a lot of stuff. By 1972, Stevie Wonder stopped being the Motown prodigy and became one of the most powerful artists of the decade. Superstition hit like a shockwave, and with grit, funk, and backbone, Superstition became an instant hit with soul, pop, and funk. It actually hit #1 on Billboard for Hot 100, and it stayed like that for like at least a week.
Wow.
So, pretty crazy fact.
Dang.
That's awesome.
That is
And also, like similarly to Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson is definitely a staple of the 70s.
Oh yeah,
Jackson 5, his solo career
that was
taken off. He was becoming a huge star.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
You know, I'm surprised we hadn't really talked about Michael Jackson
Yeah,
a whole
look,
lot.
We
this
talk about him a
episode.
lot. That's why.
A lot
That's
in
true.
the past, yeah.
In the
for
80s,
sure.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
He's
is true.
more prominent in
More
the 80s.
prominent in the 80s. He was starting to become a huge star in the 70s.
Yeah, like by 80s, he was already like he was like billions of listeners and stuff.
You know who
so.
else was blowing up in the 70s was Elton John.
Elton John.
Oh
yes.
gosh, I'm still standing. Yeah. Gosh.
Cold hearts.
Yeah. That's so good.
Crocodile Rock.
Oh my gosh. Yo,
Rocket Man. Okay, we gotta stop doing this, guys.
they don't
This is
have a
crazy.
whole lot of Elton John on here, unfortunately.
Elton John,
Breaks my heart.
another great 70s artist, and he actually really helped with the LGBTQ community with just being himself, honestly.
Yep.
Like
showing
very
people
much.
that it's okay to, be expressive.
Exactly, and to be himself, and I think it was amazing, and he still is amazing. It's
Yeah.
crazy that he's still alive.
Yeah. And you know something. As a kid, I used to think Piano Man was by Elton John. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's wild.
I was like, man, do their voices sound similar? And then I listened to it, and I'm like, no.
No, not even at all.
But you know what? Just kick
they
it
do,
off for
they
the night.
do both play piano, though.
They
I'll
did,
give
yeah.
you that,
Well,
so there it is.
They're both.
They're both piano men. So.
Yeah, I guess
if
so.
I had a nickel for every instrumentalist who knew how to play piano, I'd have, gosh, too much to
Oh,
count on my hand.
Generational number.
A lot
Yes,
of nickels.
a generational.